Good evening, you're watching Independent News. I am Sakhawat Khan. We begin as usual with the headlines. The Anti-Corruption Commission interrogates PM's advisor Masur Rahman in the Podda Bridge graft probe. Masur says he may go on leave again if necessary. The Supreme Court has fixed the 11th of December for hearing the appeal against a High Court verdict in the jail killing case. The government is planning a fresh hike in electricity prices. Power distribution companies submit a proposal in this regard. Masur Rahman, the Economic Affairs Advisor to the Prime Minister, has said that he has no problem going on leave again if required. He said that he would not become an obstruction in the government's negotiation with the World Bank on the Podda Bridge issue. Masur also said that the issues discussed with the Anti-Corruption Commission or ACC are confidential and that the ACC has the jurisdiction to question anyone. The PM advisor made these statements after being interrogated by the ACC in the probe over alleged graft in the Podda Bridge project. Masur arrived at the Commission office around 3 this afternoon in response to an ACC summons. He was the integrity advisor in the Podda Bridge project. His involvement in the project ended after the World Bank put a condition that certain high officers in the project have to be removed or the revival of the financing will not take place. The ACC had initially summoned Masur to appear before the Commission on the 6th of November, but they questioned him today instead on his request.
I took leave from the Prime Minister and returned at the end of my holiday. If anything happens between the World Bank and our government that necessitates my leaving or staying, I will do it. I will do whatever is needed in order to maintain understanding between the World Bank and our government.
Finance Minister A.M.A. Mohit has said that World Bank Vice President Isabel Guerrero will visit the country this month to activate the Podda Bridge project. He also said that the understanding with the World Bank on Podda Bridge funding will not change. Mohit made these comments after a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Purchase. The Finance Minister said that most of the steps towards building the Podda Bridge have already been taken. The government has negotiated the other issues, so there are no further complications.
Our problems have been solved. It's only a matter of time. I have no doubt or confusion on this. I also think that the World Bank Vice President will visit us within this month to expedite the Podda Bridge work. She's supposed to come sometime this month.
During her official visit to Vietnam, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said that people of all races in Bangladesh have made an example of living together in harmony. The Prime Minister made the comment while visiting a temple in Ninh Binh city in the last year of her Vietnam visit. Hasina said that people of all religions can exercise their rights freely in Bangladesh. The Prime Minister was scheduled to leave Hanoi for Laos at the Vietnamese local time of 5 p.m. on a special Biman flight. On Monday and Tuesday, Hasina will attend the 9th Asia-Europe Summit of Heads of State and Government. Then she will attend the signing ceremony of a number of agreements between the two countries. BNP Acting Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has alleged that a vested quarter is spreading rumours about Khaleda Zia's India tour. He made the allegation at a rally of the 18-party opposition alliance in Dhaka today. Fakhrul said that when Khaleda is trying to resolve disputes between Bangladesh and India, a quarter is out to misguide the people. He also termed as baseless the government's claim that information was leaked from Khaleda's Gulshan office through hidden cameras. The BNP leader also added that it is propaganda by intelligence agencies.
Awami League General Secretary Syed Ashraf said that he will disclose the pledges made by Khaleda Zia during her visit to India. We want to ask him how does he know what topics were discussed there. A vested quarter is out to divert people's attention towards the BNP chief's India trip. We condemn this act.
The Supreme Court has fixed the 11th of December for hearing the appeal against a High Court verdict in the jail killing case. The court came up with the order today in response to a petition by the Chief State Counsel for the case, Anisul Haq. The case summary was submitted to the Appellate Division on Thursday. A Dhaka court in 2004 delivered the verdict in the jail killing case, giving the death penalty to 3 fugitives and life sentence to 12 others. Later in 2008, the High Court upheld the death penalty of 1 and acquitted 2 other death row convicts. Later, the government filed a leave to appeal petition with the Supreme Court against the High Court verdict.
The Supreme Court full bench, led by the Chief Justice, has fixed the 11th of December for final hearing. All evidence and depositions will be placed before the court. Judges will examine the material and review whether the verdict was right or wrong. Under this circumstance, I hope to get the final verdict within this year.
Only 6 weeks after the latest price hike, the government is planning a fresh increase in electricity prices. Power distribution companies have already submitted a proposal to the Bangladesh Energy Regulatory Commission, BERC, regarding this.
DISCO is responsible for supplying electricity to the north zone of the capital. On the 20th of September, the government hiked retail power prices by about 15% and introduced 3 more slabs of power use. DISCO says that it buys 1 unit of electricity at 6.15 taka and sells it at 6.34 taka. During winter, the electricity demand will drop and DISCO will have to sell every unit of electricity at 6.05 taka. And the company will suffer a hefty loss for this.
It may seem that the power price has gone up after the introduction of the slabs, but the price has actually gone down. The proposed hike will save 2.5 billion taka of subsidy.
Other power companies are also complaining the same. They also suggest fresh price hike of electricity.
The companies have already informed the Energy Regulatory Commission of the current situation. Now steps can be taken in different ways.
Bangladesh Energy Regulatory Commission has decided to hold a public hearing before taking any decision.
We announced the tariff hike on an interim order. Since we follow a legal methodology in doing this, we have to hold a full-fledged public hearing according to our laws.
Power division officials said that cost of power generation may go up further due to quick rental plans.
There has been light to moderate rain across the country since last night. The Met Office said that it is the remnants of Cyclone Nilom that hit the Indian state of Tamil Nadu 3 days ago. The Met Office said that the rain will continue for 2 more days and that another cyclone may develop in the bay next week.
It's raining across the country, even though rain is quite unusual in the month of November in Bangladesh. The rain caused inconveniences to mainly office-goers as they face difficulties in finding public transport.
The road in front of my house is covered in stagnant rainwater.
Students also face difficulty due to the unusual rain.
Bus services are inadequate and rickshaw fares are high.
The Met Office said the inclement weather will continue for 2 more days.
The cyclone which crossed the Indian state of Tamil Nadu on the 31st of October has moved towards northeast India and Bangladesh. Another cyclone may be formed in the bay after 8th or 9th of November. Its path is difficult to predict.
The Met Office said that the night temperature may remain nearly unchanged across the country.
The main opposition party, BNP, has no immediate plan to launch a tough movement against the government. Earlier, on the 6th of October, BNP chief Khaleda Zia had announced that her party will go for a tougher anti-government movement after Eid al-Azha. But BNP leaders now say that they want to follow peaceful means to push for their demands.
From two rallies in Dhaka last March and June, BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia gave the government two ultimatums to restore the caretaker government system. And last month she threatened the government with tougher movement after Eid if the opposition's demand is not fulfilled. The Eid al-Azha passed last week. Now BNP leaders say that they opt for peaceful means of movement. They say that their movements will be more momentous this time.
We want our movements so strong and so massive that they shake the government and force it to pay heed to our demands.
Two other top leaders of the party hint that they will go for tougher movement if the government tries to obstruct their peaceful moves.
At some stage, we have to go for general strikes whenever we feel it is necessary. And we will announce general strikes and non-cooperation movement only to force the government to restore the non-party caretaker government system to oversee the next general elections.
We want to move for our demands without adding to the sufferings of the people. But the time will come when people will have to accept tougher moves from us. And our moves will include general strikes and blockades.
BNP leaders urge the government to sit in talks with them to save the country from a political crisis.
The Rapid Action Battalion has questioned the father of a security guard who used to work at the building where journalist couple Sagar Sarwar and Mehrun Rooney lived. The guard, Humayun, alias Enamul, has been missing for the last 9 months. Enamul's father told the RAB that he has no idea of his son's whereabouts.
The police had questioned Enamul immediately after the murder of the journalist couple more than 9 months ago. Enamul has been missing since then. The government has announced a bounty of 900,000 taka for Enamul. Enamul's father was brought to the RAB headquarters in the capital from Dohalia village of Molvi Bazar this morning. RAB's Law and Media Wing Director Commander M. Sohail said that during the about 1 hour of questioning, Enamul's father could not give any information regarding his son's whereabouts. However, he gave a lot of information on Enamul's characteristics.
According to Enamul's father, his son was punished a few times in the village for stealing. Enamul's father then sent his son to Kakrail Mosque to join a religious group, thinking that his son would come to the right path. But after some time, Enamul left the group.
The RAB expects that the mystery of Sagar Rooney murder will be resolved if Enamul is found.
This is a very sensitive case. If a security guard goes missing for a long time after the incident, it is natural to doubt over his absence. Enamul may be an important witness. We think that we will get some important information from Enamul.
Sagar and Rooney were murdered in their apartment in West Rajabazar on the 11th of February this year. 7 people have been arrested so far in connection with the murders.
The High Court has issued a rule on the government asking why an order should not be passed to stop the production, sale and marketing of various products of Pran Foods Limited, which do not meet food standards. The rule was issued by the bench of Justices Naeema Haider and Muhammad Khurshid Alam. Bottled mango, orange, lemon, strawberry, lychee, apple, pineapple and fruit cocktail drinks produced by Pran Foods fall under this rule. The Health Secretary, the Food Secretary, the Inspector General of Police, the DG of RAB, the DG of BSTI and the Deputy Commissioner of Dhaka have been ordered to respond to the rule by the 18th of November. The next hearing on this issue will also be held on the same day. Awami League lawmaker Akhtaruzzaman Chaudhry Babu died at Mount Elizabeth Hospital in Singapore early this morning. He was 72. Babu was also an Awami League Presidium member. His mortal remains will arrive in Dhaka from Singapore tomorrow morning. His first funeral prayer will be held at the South Plaza of the Parliament building in Dhaka around 11 a.m. The body will be flown to Chittagong in the afternoon. His second funeral prayer will be held at the Jamiatul Falah Jami Mosque in the port city after Asr prayers. He will be laid to rest in the family graveyard at Anwara. Stock market now. The Dhaka Stock Exchange, or DSE, started the week with losses to its key index on the first working day. The DSE General Index shed 76 points or 1.68% to close at 4,409. Shares in mutual fund worth Dhaka 3.15 billion changed hands today, with prices of 46 issues gaining, 218 declining and 6 remaining unchanged. We have international news now, and we begin with Syria. The Syrian opposition groups have gathered in the Qatari capital Doha for a key meeting on how to form a more united front against President Assad. The Doha meeting could lead to a replacement body for the Syrian National Council, or SNC, which is presently the main opposition in exile. Rebel forces in Syria have criticized the SNC as being out of touch. The opposition is also ideologically divided. The US is hoping the new leadership will help bring a successful conclusion to the uprising in Syria that began in March 2011. US President Barack Obama and the Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney each made a last-minute appeal for support in the Iowa city of Dubuque before Tuesday's election. Both candidates touched down briefly in Dubuque, a Mississippi River city of 58,000 people. The race for the White House remains effectively tied at a national level according to most polls. Still, analysts say Obama holds an edge in many of the 8 or 9 competitive states.
I know what real change looks like because I fought for it. I've got the scars to prove it. I've got the gray hair to show for it. And you fought for change too.
Voting is the best revenge. He told his supporters, voting for revenge. Vote for revenge? Let me tell you what I'd like to tell you. Vote for love of country.
That's all we have time for this evening. We'll be back tomorrow at our usual time of 8 p.m. Thank you for being with us, and good night.